Thank you.
And would, in that strong advice, would the word restraint figure?
Well, I've said that restraint, discipline, these are the hallmarks of the Israeli Defence Force that I want to see. And indeed, those are the hallmarks of a high-functioning military organisation, which the IDF is, in stark contrast to the terrorist atrocities perpetrated by Hamas. And I've said, maintain that clear distinction. Israel seeks to avoid civilian casualties. Hamas seeks civilians in order to target.
So to be absolutely clear, our government's position is full support for Israel, full support for military action, but we are urging restraint and discipline.
So I think that is a pretty good synopsis, because of course we respect Israel's right to self-defense. They've experienced the most horrendous terrorist atrocity, which is still being perpetrated. Images of people being held, images of bodies being desecrated are still sloshing around on social media. So of course they have every right, and we support this right, to protect themselves. Whilst doing it, we've said, do everything you can to minimise civilian casualties, do everything you can to prevent Hamas getting what they want, which is this to escalate into a wider regional conflict.
Well, that was James Cleverly there speaking on Sky News a bit earlier this morning. Anne, what do you make of what he said there?
Well, I understand where he's coming from. Obviously, once Israel goes into Gaza, it's going to be hell on earth, basically. And I would hope the Israeli troops do recognise that the civilians are in a perilous position.
Yeah.
Many of them haven't voted for Hamas. They're as much a victim of this as everyone else. But I think, you have to ask yourself, during the Second World War, we carpet bombed Dresden.
Yeah.
We dropped the bomb on Japan. Both of those actions, it could be argued, ended the war.
Yeah, but they could also be argued, some people would argue they're war crimes.
Oh, absolutely, yes. But I think we're expecting Israel, we're holding Israel to a standard that in the past we haven't held ourselves to.
It's a very good point, and actually Stephen Essex has texted me on that exact point, Anne. Pete, if you had a war without civilian casualties, you would be speaking German on your show.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think the show would exist, actually, under a Nazi regime, but anyway. And go ahead, sorry.
We do need to put our hearts out to the Palestinian people too, because they're in a terrible, terrible position. They're between a rock and a hard place.
I think you make some really good points, Anne. Lots of very thoughtful points.